Them is us, is you, is me. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that's one of the most awesome things I've heard on YouTube recently. And my question is how do we come together as a group and actually really come to terms with this? Because to actually admit that we are part of a collective that can either functionally or dysfunctionally interact with the surrounding environment is against everything that we've been brought up to believe. We've been brought up to believe that there's this dream that we can follow somewhere, and that the only important thing is yourself, is me, is the I, is the ego, you know. And that is very important. Independence and individuality is very important, but I think that it's been kind of magnified out of proportion in recent times, and that is why we have seen such a large system built upon consumption and destruction. And if we can kind of balance that justly with the need of the collective, then I think that we'll find ourselves in a world that is more just and in a world that is more functional. But one of the reasons why I, on YouTube, have always, in the past, unfortunately, have been a little preachy is because I have always wondered, can you really leave people to their own devices and expect a result that is positive? And my original reaction was, no, you can't. You can't expect good results. And so it just seems to me that what we are needing is we need a worldview that is compatible with the needs of our world and its inhabitants. You know, for instance, you mentioned you know, how people will die for their country. People will willingly die for in combat and war for the good of those around them. They'll be the one to put their body over a grenade so that the people around them don't die. And it is within people's abilities, it is within their mental framework, if you can call it that, to accept that you can give yourself to provide for other people. And if you can do it for a country, why is it that we can't do it for humanity or for the future? It's because there hasn't been an adequate worldview that's been built up just yet, that people have been exposed to. People have been exposed to materialism and consumption versus very harmful forms of Western religion, and that seems to be the choice, and that is why so many people like Richard Dawkins, for instance, say that you need to rule out any kind of spiritual thought. But it just seems that we're going to have to find a way, a holistic worldview that takes everybody's wants and needs and balances them out, so that people can actually say, ah, I am being taken into consideration here, but I'm also being considered in the larger whole. And it has to be done in a meaningful way, that so that nobody feels that they are being taken advantage of. And also you'd have to make sure that it doesn't have any fascist tendencies within it, this worldview. But I do think that what you're saying is totally right on, and that our consciousness interacts with other consciousnesses, and these produce the future. These produce the present interactions that we're capable of, and the future interactions that will be built on our present actions. And this is an ongoing organism, this consciousness thing, and it seems that it it likes to play games presently. And the game presently, the ball game as you put it, is figuring out a way to understand that we're all connected. To admit we're all connected is something that unfortunately more people need to start tapping into. And I do think that there is a worldview, a sort of common understanding that people need to come to in order for this to happen. Maybe that's just me, maybe that's because I doubt the intelligence of people around me. But anyways, yeah, we do need to accept the consciousnesses of others and our own, but I'm saying that in order for that to happen, there needs to be some sort of worldview that sort of places into the correct perspective for each individual what their part in the whole is, and does it in a way that is meaningful and symbolic. So, yeah. So that is my concern, that you're totally right, but just rallying people to this call of you need to give of yourself, that doesn't work. You need some kind of worldview, and I just wish the intellectuals would start producing something like that. Because right now all they're producing is, oh, do whatever the fuck you want, and everything will turn out fine. And it won't.